Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Motivate Me. I'm sure you're hearing some squeaky doors and some nature here on the farm because we have moved and are currently in Indiana. We are on a beautiful farm, and there's horses and sheep and 5 dogs. I have Justin with me. Say hello, Justin.
Hello, how you doing?
Justin is the son of my friend Karen Newhall. She was on the show back in the first week or so of Motivate Me. And her passion is actually to herd sheep using her border collie Nellie. And she taught herself how to do that. And she uses this new found skill to, as a business, really, a side business. And she helps people train their dogs at her property. It's really actually super cool. Shady Creek Herding is the name of her site. And so the house faces all of the sheep in their pen. I mean, it's a big pen. I was out there with Nellie. This Jersey girl was herding some sheep. I got to do it last night, got to do it again today, and it was pretty cool. What'd you think, Justin? How did I do?
I think you did pretty darn well. Some people don't catch on as quickly as you did. So you did darn well for somebody who's only done it once.
Thank you. I'll take that as a big compliment. So, imagine for a moment just rolling hills and fences and horse barns, and we're on this porch. It's brick and flowers and colorful greenery and hanging baskets. And Karen's house inside is the coziest, quintessential farmhouse inside, has a fireplace and all sorts of country things hanging from the walls. And it's fuzzy blankets and comfortable beds. And it's just such an awesome place to be. I mean, I just love that we get to spend 2 nights here. And I'm so appreciative and so grateful that people like Justin and his brother Alex and Karen are having us in and really giving us an amazing experience. So, Justin, before we get started today, I just want to tell everybody what we did today, like what our day was like. Was it crazy? Did you think it was crazy?
It was a really cool day. We did quite a bit actually. We went in and we interviewed what was his name?
Adam Germany.
Yeah,
We
Adam.
started by interviewing Adam Germany, who is a personal chef to high profile clients. He has a lot of clients who play basketball on the Pacers. And I know he's in talks with somebody who plays football for the Colts right now. And he also has a catering business. He does parties. He's a personal chef. And he even does like weekly programs if you wanted to order weekly and have him make your food. But he is a hardcore, serious chef. I mean, he's into it. He's passionate. And he's not just passionate about being a chef, he's also passionate about, trying to inspire people to do what I'm all about, which is to be happy, to go after their dreams, to act. And do you hear that? Is that awesome or what?
It's nice to hear. I love hearing them out here.
So awesome. The sheep, there's chicken out here. The chickens were coming near the porch before. It's hilarious and beautiful. And how does your mom keep all these animals so clean?
That's a great question. I have no clue. No clue.
She's magic. She's magic. Your mom is magic. This whole place is spotless. The barn floor, you could eat off the barn floor in there. It's crazy.
That's a compliment. We try to keep it clean. We do our best.
She really does a nice job, and obviously you're helping her out. So anyway, had a great chat with Adam. He really speaks my language. And then we went to a restaurant he recommended for some lunch that was absolutely delicious.
Oh, it was wonderful.
I had a lamb burger. I've never had lamb burger before.
It was, I also had one. They were really good. Some of the best lamb I've had to date.
It's really
So,
delicious. And then after that, where did we go? Tell everybody what we did after that.
so we went to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and that was a really neat experience. If you've never been to, well, I guess any major speedway, they are incredible. The track is, I think it's 2.5 miles long, if I remember right. It's a big place, and you just being there at such a historic place, because it opened in 1909, I believe, to racing. So and it's been the site of racing for years. So this year is the 100th running of the Indy 500, and it's incredible. It's an
Oh
incredible place
man.
to be.
And we got to interview Stefan Wilson, who is racing in the Indy 500 for the first time. Imagine that for one moment. Here, little old me and my crew gets to go in. Stefan Wilson, what a nice guy. You guys, you check him out on Facebook and you will see what I'm saying. Such a compassionate person and hilarious. He's so funny. His Facebook page for a public figure is so personable and I just loved it. And he was so absolutely kind. And this is his first Indy 500 and it's the 100th race, 100th Indy 500. A hummingbird just came over here and was like, "Why are you all blocking my my?" Yeah, he came up, paused, like, "I'm going in for my feeder, but you're there, so I'm not." And he went away. But it was like eye level, so that was really cute. Little scary, but fun. So anyway, Stefan Wilson was so nice, and he lost his brother last August in a race at the Poconos. Flying debris actually hit him and it took his life. And so Stefan has had some challenges to move past, but driving is his passion and it was so cool. So after we spoke with him, tell everybody what took place after that.
So we actually took kind of like a small tour of the garage area with his public relations manager, and she introduced us to some of the security guys there. And they actually allowed us down onto the track into pit lane, which is that's amazing. They said not many people are allowed to go back there, and so we were very fortunate to be able to go see where these guys work every day, and so it was a really a fascinating place to be.
Well, I think that one of the things I'm taking away from my whole time here in Indiana is that Hoosierville, Hoosier love. Seriously, the people in Indiana are genuinely friendly and kind. And, the gentleman that took us out on the track was so proud of the track and so passionate about, the whole race. And that's how the whole town and the whole state is. They're just incredibly proud and passionate to host the Indy 500 and for its home to be here. And we actually got to meet one of the pit guys for, and AJ
Foyt.
Yes,
AJ Foyt.
AJ Foyt, which apparently I have an issue pronouncing his last name. I did not get that right earlier, but I'm working on it. And I know he's a huge deal, and he's a huge deal in Indiana. And your mom really likes him too.
Yes, absolutely. He's an icon in the Indy 500 race, and that race is an icon for the state. The Brickyard is probably the most important set of bricks in the entire state.
You're right. The walk of bricks, which is the start and stop line at the Indy 500. We were standing on it. I wish I would have thought to seriously drop down and give it a kiss.
Yeah, as all of the race winners do after they finish.
Right. That was amazing. And so then I did do an interview with some of the security people there and Emily, the PR person for Stefan Wilson, because they're just so passionate. And the energy there, the race is only like 19 days away. And so we're at the time of that race, we will be in Seattle. And our goal is to get somewhere to watch the race and to cheer on Stefan Wilson.
Yeah, and he was actually really cool to talk to because he said, even though his brother was killed doing this, he said that absolutely has not stopped him. He didn't even think twice about continuing to race because that's his passion. That is what he loves to do. And there's nothing that's going to get between him and racing.
Right. And so here's my question to you, Justin, and why I have you co-hosting with me today is because, you're a freshman in college. You have your sights set on being a high school teacher. And all of that is awesome because I absolutely I was a teacher, so I believe in teaching. I'm a huge fan of teachers. I know how hard that job truly is. And I believe that anybody who has a degree in teaching and experience teaching can do many, many jobs, because they have a skill set that really far exceeds a lot of different jobs. And anyway, so my question to you is though, here we come into town. we roll in, a little bit of a whirlwind. We're driving this van with these, car magnets on it that say motivate me, tweet us at motivate podcast, right? And we three women, we're in our 20s, our 30s, our 40s. And of course, I'm the one in the
Of
20s.
course, of course.
And so we come into town and you just finished your first year of college. And you know that, I'm the kind of person who came up with an idea, probably a crazy one to some people. And then I just started working on it and I am now doing it. And you were with us today when some pretty cool things happened. And I'm curious if what we're doing has impacted your perspective at all.
Absolutely. You guys have really made me realize that there is so much out there for me to do. Even if say I go into teaching and I decide, what, this isn't for me. I can go drop everything and do something else. I can go, and that's what Adam today, like he basically did. So he was working on an engineering degree, and then he said, you know what, this isn't for me. So he dropped everything to become a personal chef, and I think that's really amazing. That takes a lot of guts to just drop everything that you're doing, and it's all worth it in the end. If you're doing what you love, then the money doesn't matter, the time doesn't matter. Nothing matters. You're doing what you love, and so I really want to incorporate that into my life. If I could, use a social studies education degree to, do a lot of different things. I could work for a national park as a historian and teaching, different people stuff, or I could, travel around the country with some of these larger groups, teaching, and I could do pretty much, a lot of things, I guess.
Right, exactly. And we had a guest on the show who was one of my students. She got a degree in teaching and she loves teaching. She loved it, but she just didn't feel ready at 23 years old when she graduated, or actually, let's say she was 18, I don't know, whatever she was, 22, and she was young for her age. She just didn't feel ready when she graduated from school at such a young age to commit to a lifetime career yet. So what she did, which I thought was awesome, is that she joined AmeriCorps. And AmeriCorps goes around and they help communities in need in our nation. So it's serving the United States. And she has grown so much from that experience. And that's another piece of experience that if you have that on your resume with a degree and experience in teaching, those two things together are pretty powerful.
Absolutely, absolutely. And teaching is a very powerful field in itself because you could impact so many people. Like my grandfather was a physical education teacher, and he coached wrestling, and so he had this kid Garrett that he taught. It was probably 40 years ago at this point. And he hadn't heard from Garrett in well, I guess since high school. And one day he gets an invitation from NASA saying that this guy Garrett invited him to see his first launch into space because he became an astronaut. And he invited my grandfather because he was so important to this guy's life that he just couldn't leave him out of his biggest achievement yet. And so I think that's a really cool thing, and that's really what I'm going into teaching for. I'm going into teaching to really help impact kids and make an impact on the world around me.
That's awesome. That's beautiful. And that's exactly why people should go into teaching. And whether you end up being a teacher for your whole life or you end up building on that degree and doing something else, you're still headed in the right direction. Good for you.
It's an exciting time in my life. I'm really looking forward to my future because it could go any number of ways.
So, ladies and gentlemen, what does this all mean for you? This means that I hope you are looking at little old me traveling around the country and the opportunities that are opening up to me simply because I am asking for them, simply because I am putting myself out there. Look at your life today. What is it that you can reach for? Because I don't know. I think you can do it. That's it. Please remember, you motivate me. I'm Lynette Renda. Thanks, Justin.
Oh, no problem.
And I talk to you, and I talk to you, and I talk to you, and I talk to you. And we love, and we hate, and we demonstrate. We try to relate. This is my breakthrough. Whoa. Said now, this my breakthrough. Whoa. Oh man, this my breakthrough.